I was hoping to have a conversation with you, Peter, and maybe you could give me a little bit about yourself, what your role is, and how that's going to affect Acquia.
Sure, by all means. So I've been involved in doing this sort of this kind of role for about 25 years, and worked with commerce businesses. We even worked with some of the competition as well, and many of those who will see this will know me from having spent time at Adobe as well. So um, this role is really an opportunity to begin to reframe and restructure the partner program for Acquia to have it mold to the new direction of the business. Clearly, the business has been well founded on the Drupal investment that we have, and the Marketing Cloud having been added to that just recently is requires taking us in a different direction. So this is an exercise really of restructuring and refocusing the partner program to support the business objectives that we have, but at the same time to assist and support the partners themselves.
Perfect. So your role is really to come in here and just drive that partner first model. And your I mean that's especially from a global perspective. It's one thing to kind of deal with the North American approach, and then you start getting into the APAC regions, you start getting into those Eastern Asian and Pacific regions. So give me kind of an understanding about, give me the high level of what partner first means for Acquia today and what you're trying to achieve.
I think it's a matter of a phrase that's been used by Acquia before, and yeah, jokingly we were saying, this time we need to address this properly, and so this is an exercise of going beyond just this notion of there being opportunities that are being sourced from partners, but actually extending their role in this to a point where it's a partner source, but also co-sell environment. So we want them to be working with us, stood shoulder to shoulder in front of clients, delivering the methodology and the sales pitch with us, um, and leveraging their knowledge about those clients as well as leveraging their knowledge around our platform, and it's bringing those elements together in a unified team in the eyes of a customer that I believe will make a significant difference to this business going forward.
Yeah, I love that. You'll see certain vendors and other vendors that'll just take on any partner, right? Just to get a logo on their website to say, oh, this person's now a partner, and they've never deployed. And I really think that a critical aspect of it is to say you're co-marketing together. You're unified. So would I be right to assume that the approach is quality over quantity? And what does that mean for service vendors that want to become a partner of Acquia? What is kind of the ground floor? What do you really have to accomplish? And what do you look for in a great partner?
Well, I think I suppose I alluded to it in my previous comment, and that is that there remains a role for partners to play with us who are focused purely on services and service delivery. Um, but as a business, we have an objective to maximize our market penetration through licensed sales.
Mhm.
What we're doing this time around is engaging the partners to assist us with that. And we're not going to make them resellers as such, but it is a matter of them actually, as I described, stood shoulder to shoulder with us, doing the pitches to the clients, and therefore there's a much greater emphasis to be placed on organizations who have sales teams of their own, who can work with our sales teams and position the market and value realization and objectives for a client together, and that's the exercise really. So this is almost about our leveraging the assets that the partner has to support that objective on the one hand, but it's also about them being able to leverage their own services delivery capability. So it will become quite focused, I think, in that sense. But as someone asked me even today, if they didn't have enough staff of their own to accommodate a particular project requirement, would there still be an opportunity to engage other partners to assist them? And the answer categorically is yes. But it's not something that we're looking to do necessarily ourselves. Just to facilitate the discussion and let them agree a rate card, and they can put in place that whatever commercial arrangements they need to support the project delivery. So it becomes a very, very, very much more collaborative, reciprocal model in this way.
Excellent. I really agree with that strategy. I think the fact that you've come to that conclusion is really going to help not only your partner channel, but Acquia just grow over time, because too often in prior times when we're talking about partnerships, we really see that all of a sudden, a company will deploy Acquia and say they're a partner when they're really not. And you going in together with those partnership, with the service, because they're dealing with the best practices that you provide through your training, through your solution selling, through just knowing Acquia in total, your partner becomes a better extension of who you are, instead of just, some random company saying, hey, we can deploy Acquia's, marketing suite on top of Drupal. So I'll ask you, because that, what's the real proven point, and what's the real agility, the time, the value, the market that Acquia brings?
Well, I think most partners will often say that the tech is very interesting, but it's always bring me an opportunity, and I think that's the piece often that Acquia in the past has failed to do. And we've as I said, there's been a partner sourced focus to what's happened in the past, and that's a one-sided relationship. I mean, a relationship shouldn't be like this. It has to be balanced. There has
Exactly.
to be that reciprocal play there. So one of the most significant things that we're going to be doing going into 21 will be putting in place a model that means that virtually every sales opportunity that we have, that we are creating ourselves, will be paired with a partner. So we'll be walking partners into new opportunities as well. So in terms of the readiness, in certain circumstances, I'd say that wait to train people and to have people certified until you have your first project. I think by virtue of the fact that we will be going on the front foot to walk a partner into an opportunity as quickly as possible, will help to have them assess in the field exactly how they're working with us, and we can see that it is as symbiotic and as collaborative as possible, and that they're making the right kind of investments in the training. But I think the other key thing is ensuring that from our perspective, and for the partner as well, is that we're helping with risk management. And what I mean by that is that we need to be playing a role from a professional services standpoint, not necessarily in actually doing the work, but certainly in terms of validating that the architecture has been designed as efficiently as possible, that there are code reviews and things that can check the efficiency of the delivery. I've done this sort of thing before, and oddly enough, when you put a site into production, clients quite like us to be on site when that happens as well for some reason. So it's just making sure that. It is, isn't it?
It's interesting when the site's ready to launch. I'm like, well, no, we want to be where we can actually manage any issues that come out of production if data isn't connecting properly. But
exactly.
I agree. They usually want you on site. That's interesting that you say
exactly.
that.
It's funny though at the same time that by taking that kind of approach, often what I've seen in the past has been, we can see if there's a problem arising quite early on, and we can if we start seeing the smoke rising, we can put the fire out quite quickly, perhaps before even the client knows there's an issue. And that's an important thing, because it comes down to, oddly enough, customer experience, related to that. But at the same time, it's also how it plays back into the partner experience. I take that kind of attention to how those relationships are nurtured, almost paternally, because it is not a transaction, it is a relationship, and it's vital that those things are grown and educated and nurtured, into adulthood, if you like, extend that metaphor, so that they can be operationalized properly, not just for our benefit, but for the partner's benefit as well. So, part of this exercise is also about the sharing of business objectives, the things that are important to us, but at the same time, understanding, very, very clearly the things that are important to that partner as well. The places that are no-go areas, or the things that they do want to get involved with, where their call outs to us can indicate where they want us to lean in. So that's what friends do.